This is Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review. This is your World Cup hockey betting preview for the games taking place on Wednesday, September the 21st. We have two games on the Wednesday World Cup of Hockey slate. The first game early on Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Sweden taking on North America. A pivotal game really for the young North American team because they're 1-1. 4-1 victory over Finland in their first game. A tough loss to Russia in their last game. A one-goal defeat, looking to bounce back, and really outside of a 8 to 9 minute stretch in that game against Russia where Matt Murray, gave up a couple questionable goals to Russia, a couple of shots that probably he would tell you that he should have stopped. Other than that, I thought North America played another very good game, a game that they deserved to win. They outshot Russia, outchanced them for most of that game, but they had that little stretch in the second period where Russia got on a roll, scored 4 unanswered goals, and that was enough to get Russia the victory. This now is a situation where if North America doesn't beat Sweden here, they might find themselves not advancing to the semifinals. It's still possible they could get through with a loss, but to guarantee they move on to the semifinals, they need to beat Sweden in this game. Sweden, unfortunately, we were on the losing end of a tough beat with Finland on the puck line, +1.5. That game was a one-goal game for pretty much the whole game. Sweden gets an empty netter with just seconds to go to make it 2-0. Tough loss for us on the Finland bet there. Henrik Lundqvist was fantastic in that game. 36 save shutout performance for Sweden in that victory against Finland. Can he duplicate that? This is now going to be a second game. He's likely going to be in net in 24 hours. North America's had some extra rest. They've got the edge in rest and preparation and practice for this game. North America played Monday night against Russia. Sweden played Finland on Tuesday afternoon. Now you got to play Wednesday afternoon. 24-hour turnaround for Sweden. Not an easy one. North America with a little bit more rest. I think there's a little bit more desperation here on their side. Sweden's pretty much home and cool into the semifinals at 2-0 right now. That's not the case for North America. To absolutely ensure they advance, they need to win this game. And I do think that outside of that, like I said, 10-minute stretch against Russia in the second period, where they got a little bit of, shaky goaltending from Matt Murray in that game, North America's been fantastic in this tournament. They have, they out-dominated Finland. They outplayed Russia for most of that game, even though they came up short on the losing end of that game. They're playing great. I mean, the dynamic forward group, Nathan MacKinnon, Connor McDavid, Mark Scheifele, Austin Matthews, you go on down the list, they've just got a ton of great young talent. Johnny Gaudreau, I mean, you could go on down the list. I think North America wins this game. I've been riding them throughout the tournament, and I think I'm going to take a shot with them here. Definitely when I look at these two games on Wednesday, this is probably the bet that I like the most. North America, right around even money. You can get around -106, -110 with North America to beat Sweden on Wednesday. I think it's a reasonable price here to back this North American team. Outside of that little rough patch they had against Russia in the second period, they've played a great tournament so far, and I think desperation comes out. And I like the fact they played Monday night. Sweden had to play Tuesday afternoon. It's a little bit more rest, maybe a little bit more freshness for this North America team as they take the ice for this game on Wednesday. The second game on Wednesday, Canada versus Europe, a battle of 2-0 teams looking to win first place in Group A. So first place really on the line as Europe, the surprising 2-0 team, this vagabond group of Germans, Slovaks, Slovenians, Swiss, Norwegian hockey players, they've come together and they've played very good, very structured defensively. The goaltending from Yaroslav Halak has been very good. Lots to like about Europe. They're playing a very sound team game. They're not pushing the attack a lot, but boy, they're playing structured defensive hockey. They're getting solid goaltending, and I think that's the important part and why they've been able to have success here in this tournament so far. Going to be a challenge, I think, Europe will be for this Canada team. I know Canada's been great, shut out the Czechs, pretty much controlled the game in a 4-2 win against the United States on Tuesday night to go 2-0, but they're going to be challenged here, I think, by this Europe team. In this game. This will be a good test for Europe because we know, they've looked very good, beating the Czechs, beating the United States. Now, what can you do against this powerhouse Canada team? I mean, Canada's just been so good in this tournament. I mean, they have so much depth on defense, up front, at forward, and in goal. Going to be a challenge here for Europe to handle it. Canada is minus 600 on the money line. I absolutely can't touch that. That's for sure. Europe catching a very healthy plus 466. Obviously, Europe is still going to be up against it to beat Canada, obviously, even though they're both 2-0. I mean, Canada, hard to make a case for expecting them to lose right now, the way they have been playing. Total of that game sitting at about 5.5. You know, Canada games are finding their way over the total. I don't really like this game much from a betting perspective. I'm probably going to pass on it. From a side perspective, I have no interest fading Canada. But at the same time, they're priced way too heavily against a solid enough Europe team that I'm not going to be backing Canada either. Maybe a small lean to the over in this game, just because, again, Europe's played the States, who have had trouble offensively in this tournament. They played the Czechs, who are not a very good offensive team. Now you got to play a team that can put the puck in the net. We'll see if that Europe defense and goaltending, which has been so strong so far in the tournament, if it can hold up. If it can't and it struggles, maybe this game does have a chance to go over the total. So a small lean to the over in this game, 5.5. And it is worth noting, Canada's first game against the Czechs, 6-0. Canada's game against the United States, 4-2. Both games winding up with 6 goals scored total in those games. That would be good enough to cash an over ticket in this game between Europe and Canada. So I'll lean a little bit to the over, 5.5 between Europe and Canada in the nightcap on the Wednesday slate of World Cup of Hockey action. All right, that will wrap it up. That's my look at World Cup of Hockey for the slate taking place on Wednesday, September the 21st. I'm Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review. We'll be back later in the week. We'll take a look at the Thursday slate of World Cup of Hockey action, which will be the final day of round-robin play before the semifinals begin this weekend.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.